emotional return to Dallas was met with sweat, tears, and Fire Nico Harrison chants. So can the Mavs ever recover from this? What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita, and welcome to the Courtside Club. We have got to talk about Luka's revenge game in Dallas. I know that I am a couple days late to covering this topic, but I have a lot of thoughts on it. This video might turn into a rant video, so bear with me, but let's jump right in. So this week, Luka Doncic made his highly anticipated return to Dallas, playing for the first time in Dallas as a Los Angeles Laker. Now, NBA fans around the world were anticipating this game, not knowing truly what to expect, but I think everybody knew that it was going to be emotional in some sense, because the trade that pretty much set off the entire sports world was that from a couple months ago, where it was the Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis trade. It shocked people around the world. I feel like everybody, you guys let me know in the comments right now, where were you when you found out about that trade? I feel like that is a moment in NBA history that we will never forget. I remember personally, I was in bed. It was like 11 p.m. here in Texas, and I remember being up until like 1 o'clock because I didn't believe that the news was real. It was kind of crazy. But I will say that from watching this game this week of Dallas versus the Lakers, this whole trade finally became real to me, and I feel like it became real to so many NBA fans and also to Luka Doncic himself. I want to start off by saying I felt like the tribute video that they played for Luka, while the Mavericks absolutely needed to do that, like they had to give tribute to him in some sort of way, doing it before the game to me felt like psychological warfare. Like, that man was sitting there on the bench sobbing. I don't know how he went out there on the court and scored 45 points and played as well as he did after watching that and then just being flooded with emotions. This was somebody who would have stayed with the Mavericks for his entire career. When we talk about the NBA and we talk about loyalty in the NBA, because that has been a big topic of discussion, right? In the past 10 years, how players aren't loyal to a team. They want to ring chase. They want to team up with their friends. They want to move around. And that is something that has been highly criticized. Fans highly criticize players who bounce around and just do that and don't show any loyalty to a city, to a team, or to a fan base. Luka is somebody who would have done that. It was very clear that he wanted to stay in Dallas, and Dallas was his home. That's where he's always been for the entirety of his NBA career, and he's still early in his NBA career. So then he goes back to Dallas, and one thing that stood out to me was in his post-game interview, the reporter asked him how he's feeling, and he's trying to articulate his emotions, but he also said, it felt good to be home. He still referenced Dallas as home. He said, I got to sleep in my own bed, which is just think about it for a second. I know these guys are millionaires. I know they can stay anywhere that they want, but he had actually just bought a home in Dallas. Now, also during this game, if you guys tuned in, I watched the whole thing. Like, it was a hard watch. I don't even know how to really explain it, because there was just like this cloud of emotion across the whole game, and I didn't truly even know how to feel. And I found myself for the first time ever rooting for the Lakers, and I'm not a Lakers fan. Like, I've never been a Lakers fan, but even the crowd that was there, the home crowd in American Airlines Arena, was cheering for Luka every time he got the ball, anytime he scored. Now, could you imagine being on that Dallas Mavericks team and just feeling like the entire arena is not there for you? And I bet you, honestly, this might sound really harsh, but that's probably how it feels when teams play against the Indiana Fever, because there's so many Caitlin Clark fans who come and then they're cheering for her, and she kind of turns the arena into an away arena when she's at someone else's home. But that's what it felt like. And you could see in the crowd, like, there were so many fans who were wearing Luka gear, like Luka jerseys, and they're Dallas jerseys and t-shirts and things, but they're all kind of decked out and wearing that. And then there are also so many Fire Nico Harrison chants. Now, Nico Harrison was actually in the building for this game. The heaviness of this game, and just, it was so much more than basketball. And to me, I feel like it signified a shift in the NBA a bit. And maybe I'm being a little bit too dramatic with this, but hang in there with me. We have not seen loyalty to one team in a long time. And I feel like the last person kind of left in this wave of players at the moment, at least, is Steph Curry and maybe Joker. Those are two people, and Giannis, okay? And Giannis, I would say too, is like tied to that organization. It doesn't feel like any of those players want to leave. Before that, when we're talking about greatest players, when we talk about a Kobe Bryant, when we talk about a Larry Bird, when we talk about a Magic Johnson, a lot of these players, part of their legacy is sticking with one team and how they brought success to that one team. Within the NBA fan base, there are still organizations, franchises who have such a loyalty to their city and to their franchise. And what that Luka trade did is it just like ripped the heart and soul out of so many Dallas Mavericks fans, and it also ripped it out of Luka. Like, that is somebody who wanted to stay, and you just don't see it that often. But it also sent a message to pretty much everyone else in the league. And if you guys remember, after this trade, when other players were getting interviewed, players were basically saying like, if Luka can get traded, any of us can get traded, because no one expected it. And to prove that Luka is still so loyal to Dallas, he actually stayed a day after the game and he did an event with fans in Dallas. So less than 24 hours after an emotionally draining yet spectacular performance, Luka stayed in Dallas to host local youth basketball players and fans at a Luka 4 sneaker release event at Dick's Sporting Goods. During the event, Doncic answered questions, met with local area youth basketball teams, and even checked out a few lucky fans' Luka 4 purchases at the register. He could have said no, he could have said he was too tired, he could have done the event in LA, but he showed up. Big character and culture move. Now, it has also been reported, you guys, from this Luka trade, Dallas is going to suffer heavily when it comes to monetary gains with this franchise and with this city. So it has been said, what is that noise? Do you guys hear that? That's ear piercing. Please hold. Sorry, I have no clue what that was, but it stopped now, so let's continue. So there was a report that the Mavs are going to suffer many financial losses because of this trade. It's a decision, team sources told ESPN, that probably will cost the franchise 9 figures over the next several seasons, as the Mavs are projected to lose dozens of millions in revenue this season due to dwindling crowds, plummeting merchandise sales, and sponsors severing ties with the franchise in the wake of the trade. So many fans canceled season tickets in the days after the trade that the Mavs attempted to generate some goodwill by offering limited refunds. Now, I thought it was also so ironic that tonight is actually Dallas Mavericks Fan Appreciation Night. What are the odds that 2 days after they do a Fan Appreciation Night presented by Dr. Pepper, it says, join us as we celebrate you, our MFFLs, who make the Mavs family special. This is rough. Like, this is so rough, and I feel bad for Mavs fans. I feel bad for everybody who works for that organization who had no say in this trade, no say in anything that was going on. I feel bad for the players who play on that team. Actually, during the revenge game, I actually felt bad for Anthony Davis as well. He was also somebody who got screwed in the whole trade, but you didn't see him like hugging a bunch of his old teammates or people kind of comforting him. He didn't really show up to play. He didn't have his greatest game, but I kind of felt bad for him as well. Like, he's new to the Mavs organization, and Mavs fans do not care. They do not care. They don't want him. They want Luka back. And it's sad. However, the NBA might not be too sad about this, because ESPN NBA viewership update says that Luka Doncic's return to Dallas was the most watched NBA game on ESPN this season, excluding Christmas. 2.26 million viewers on ESPN. And that is something that a lot of people have been speculating, and I don't know if I truly buy into this. I actually made a whole video of some of the reasons that this trade could have happened that are not just the typical, oh, the Mavs thought that AD would be a better addition than Luka, which is insane. But a lot of people are saying that the NBA was actually behind this trade, and they did this because the ratings weren't great in the beginning of the season and they needed this to shake up things. They needed some superstar to be in Los Angeles, so when LeBron decides to retire, there is somebody to follow up and keep the Lakers relevant, keep them as a great team. So there is a ton of speculation, and especially after those numbers came out and just the discourse around it, I don't really subscribe to that. I'm kind of on the fence about the reason that they might want to move the Mavericks to Vegas, which would also just be heart-wrenching. Like, what are you doing? You had such a great dialed in fan base in Dallas. We do not need another sports team in Vegas. And I don't want to go to Vegas for anything. I hate Vegas. I'm sorry if you live there. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy Vegas. I feel like that theory makes a little bit more sense because you are doing nothing right now but tanking your franchise. Absolutely tanking it. I don't think that there's any one player who you could get now that would make the fans that were ride or die Dallas from the beginning, who were there, that would make the fans be like, oh yeah, we're happy now. You made up for it. You got this other player. Now we're happy. We'll win a championship. Even if they win a championship in the next 10 years, I still don't think the fans, they're never going to forgive them for this. And that game this week really made this trade real for so many people because I feel like it wasn't real yet. It was kind of just this fever dream. Like, did that really happen? It made it real. But that's the reality of it now. Luka's a Laker. He might retire as a Laker. The Lakers are going to do whatever they possibly can to keep him because they see his value. He's not overweight. He works hard enough. He gets it done on the court. He deserves to be paid and he deserves a team that's gonna back him and be loyal to him if there's a thing as loyalty anymore in the NBA. But of course, you guys, I want to know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for hanging in there for this rant, but I just had to get that one off my chest because something wasn't sitting right with me, and watching that game was hard. It was hard. As an NBA fan for many, many years, that was a tough watch. But anyway, of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it and click that little subscribe button because we upload new videos every single week. And with that, you guys, I'll see you next time. Uwiana.